Hello to you all. This is an introduction of African economy. The continent of Africa is blessed and full of natural resources, as from the north to the south and the east to the west. For mineral resources in one hand, there are diamonds, gold, iron ore, bauxite, aluminium, uranium, phosphate, and many others. On the other hand, there are varieties of agricultural produce and fertile soil. As for tourism, it is full of wildlife, sea creatures, beautiful landscape, woodland, deep forests, waterfalls, lakes, running water from hills to the valleys, the wonderful sea view, the cloud, the snow, the rainbow reflecting on the mountain from end to end, the inactive volcanic mountains, the sand dune, the desert, and the semi-arid areas. You may find all these natural resources in the continent of one race Africa. But yet, the Africans are dying of hunger, drought, malnutrition, immigrating to other continents for survival. If the question is to be answered, who are responsible for the impoverishment of African economy? Let us look into the economy of each one of the countries in Africa. Then you may give your opinion if wish. The world is part of Africa, and Africa is part of the world we live in. Do not destroy the wonders and beauties of our only beloved earth. Thank you so much. Economy of Benin. The economy of Benin is dependent on subsistence agriculture, cotton production, and regional trade. Cotton accounts for 40% of gross domestic product, the GDP, and roughly 80% of official export revenues. Growth in real output is low recently, and rapid population growth has offset much of this increase. Inflation has subsided over the past several years. Benin's economy has continued to strengthen over the past years, although the main backbone of growth is the agricultural sector, with cotton being the country's main export. But services continue to contribute the largest part of GDP, largely because of Benin's geographical location, enabling trade, transportation, and transit activities with its neighboring countries. In addition, tourism promotion is underway. Benin plans to attract more foreign investment, facilitate the government and development of new food processing systems and agricultural products, and encourage new information and communication technology. Projects to improve the business climate by reforms to the land tenure system, the commercial justice system, and the financial sector were included in Benin's $307 million Millennium Challenge account grant signed in February 2006. The Paris Club and bilateral creditors have eased the external debt situation, with Benin benefiting from a G8 debt reduction announced in July 2005. while pressing for more rapid structural reforms, and insufficient electricity supply continues to adversely affect Benin's economic growth, though the government recently has taken steps to increase domestic power production and urge for wage equality, stop the use of child labor, and the continuing issue of forced labor. Cotonou harbors the country's oldest seaport and international airport. A new port is currently under construction between Cotonou and Porto Novo. Benin is connected by two-lane asphalted roads to its neighboring countries, Togo, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Nigeria. Mobile telephone service is available across the country through various operators. Benin is connected to the internet by way of satellite since 1998 and a single submarine cable, keeping the price of data extremely high. Relief has been experienced with initiation of the African Coast to Europe cable since 2011. Forestry. Benin has fields of lion fallow, mangroves, and remnants of large sacred forests. In the rest of the country, the savanna is covered with thorny crops and dotted with huge baobab trees. Some forests line the banks of rivers. In the north and the northwest of Benin, the reserve of Niger and Penjari National Park attracts tourists eager to see elephants, lions, antelopes, hippos, and monkeys. Penjari National Park, together with the bordering parks Arli in Burkina Faso and Niger, are some of the most important strongholds for the endangered West African lion, with an estimated 356 lions. Arli Penjari harbors the largest remaining population of lions in West Africa. Historically, Benin has served as habitat for the endangered painted hunting dog. However, this canid is thought to have been locally eradicated. Terrain. Benin shows little variation in elevation and can be divided into 4 areas from the south to the north, starting with the low-lying sandy coastal plain. The highest elevation is 10 meters, that's 32.8 feet, which is at most 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles wide. It is marshy and dotted with lakes and lagoons, communicating with the ocean. Behind the coast lies the Guinean forest savanna, mosaic-covered plateaus of southern Benin, with altitude between 20 and 200 meters, that's 66 and 656 feet, which are split by valleys running north to south along the Kofu, Zo, and Kwemi rivers. Then there is an area of flatlands dotted with rocky hills whose altitude seldom reaches 400 meters. That's 1,312 feet. Extends around Niki and Save. Finally, a range of mountains extend along the northwest border and into Togo. This is the Atakora, with the highest point, Mount Sobaro, at 658 meters, that is 2,159 feet.